Welcome to Rotary Clubs of Ojai Living Treasures reception. This May 15th, 2024, and thank you all for coming. First, I'm going to give a little invocation. One more day to serve, one more hour to love, one more minute to praise. For this, we are grateful. This is a Rotary event, so we do the four-way test. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Does it build goodwill and better friendships? Is it beneficial to all concerned? Next, we are honored to have Ojai Mayor Betsy Sticks here to make a proclamation and get the meeting started.
Thank you, Fred. It's an honor to be here. Thank you all for having me. And this reminded me, a veteran mayor, a friend of mine, once said that mayors are either complaints department or cheerleader. So it's really nice to be here and cheerlead. So go Rotary! And I also, a quote from Harry Truman came to mind after I read this beautiful proclamation that Brett Bradigan wrote. Where are you, Brett? Thank you. Just stunning, and don't tell anyone, but it's the best one I've read. So, and he okayed Truman quote, and the quote is, "It's amazing what you can accomplish if you do not care who gets credit." So that really came to mind and resonated with me as I look out at all of you, how beautiful service is. So with that, it's an honor to read this. Proclamation, Ojai's Living Treasures. Whereas, in the heart of Ojai beats a spirit that thrives on selfless service and unwavering dedication to doing what is right. And whereas, among the many stars that shine in our town, there are those whose light shines even brighter, illuminating Ojai's values. And whereas, the two Rotary Clubs of Ojai, whose motto of service above self has led us to become guardians of our community's ethos and principles, come together every year to seek and honor those whose actions speak volumes about the character and soul of our town. And whereas it is with great pride and admiration that we gather today to recognize and celebrate Ojai's living treasures and those who nominate them, whose dedication to service, kindness, and integrity inspires us all. And whereas their deeds continue to serve others as a beacon of hope, reminding us all of the beauty of selflessness, of the power of community, and the importance of showing up and doing what is right. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Betsy Sticks, Mayor of the City of Ojai, on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim and honor the exemplary individuals chosen as this year's Living Treasures. Let's give them a hand. Signed on this day, the 15th day of May, 2024, in the presence of our cherished past treasures and community, with gratitude and the admiration for all who make Ojai this truly special place to call home. Thank you.
Open it up.
Oh, yeah. That's our document. This is the first one of these we had. Yes. Thank you very much, Mayor Sticks. First, I'm going to say a few words about Living Treasures. Living Treasures has evolved. It was conceived of by Sanford Drucker when he was in the infantry in the Aleutians in Alaska in World War II. It was high mortality in that part of the war, and in fact, he was wounded. He wanted to promote goodwill and good fellowship and good health when he got back from the war. He created what he called Living Treasures of Ojai. This involved meetings for several years, and ultimately, treasures were started named in 1995. In the year 2002, Rotary took it over, and I've been the chair ever since. This is the 22nd year that Rotary has been doing treasures. Sanford passed away in 2011. His legacy lives on through Rotary. His wife, Christine, has been named a living treasure as well. There are really two Rotary clubs in Ojai, the Tuesday Club and the Friday Club. The treasures is a joint committee. It's Rotary Clubs of Ojai Living Treasures, Tuesday and Friday. The website is rcolt.org, or you can get there by Google. Now I'm going to introduce the members of the Rotary Clubs of Ojai Living Treasures Committee. Steve Adams, standing back there. Photographer extraordinaire and past president of the Tuesday Club. B. Mike Caldwell is former president of the Tuesday Club and a rancher. C. Dr. Carl Gross, recently retired, longtime Ojai family practitioner. And he's been president of the Friday Club several times, including right now. Al West is a retired senior forest ranger. And part of his job was to manage rangers throughout the nation from Washington, D.C. Connie Biggers is a retired school teacher from Nordhoff, and she's very active in education and president of the Ojai Women's Club and Oakview Women's Club. Renee Hallbrook is a Friday Rotarian, and my daughter. Now, Brett Bradigan is a local journalist and owner and publisher of the Ojai Quarterly and Ojai Monthly. He is a committee member of this ARCHOLT committee, and tonight he will be inducted as a living treasure. Every year he says a few words as part of this reception, and I'm going to ask him to say a few words now.
Well, the first words I'm going to say are, let's give Dr. Faber a big hand. I cannot tell you how much his friendship and mentorship means to me, and the amount of work that he does for this program and for everything else that he does in this world. I think we're blessed to have him. So my job is to be like the hype beast, get people to nominate again. And the first thing I should say is that Dr. Faber likes to say the dullest pencil is better than the sharpest mind, which I'm reflecting on that now because I didn't bring any notes. I do want to encourage people who nominated and their nominees weren't selected, because it's happened to me. I know one gentleman, Ray Johnson, who I adored. I met him through Chaparral School. He would teach these kids how to fly fish, but it wasn't just fly fishing. He would teach them how to build their own fly rods and tie their own flies, and then he would take them up to Rose Valley Lakes, and they'd actually catch trout. And I thought that was such a beautiful program. Got to know him a little bit through that, but he did everything else behind the scenes. The church barbecue, their big fundraiser. He was a World War II vet. He was active in American Legion and the VFW post here locally. And it took, I don't know how many times, 4 or 5 times. And I would argue for him. And I think Stephanie and a few others really jumped on board and made sure he got over the top. But I wasn't going to give up. So I feel good that the persistence paid off. And I really urge all of you who have nominated people who they haven't been selected, just keep at it. If you really feel like they deserve it, then they do, and they will be recognized. The other thing is people who have been nominated as treasurers, have been selected. I'd like them to nominate as well. I feel the people who are the treasurers should understand what it means to them and want to share that feeling. The other thing is, it's something that you carry around with you, that mantle of living treasure. And I see the way people have a little spring in their step afterwards. And it's like aspirational. Even if maybe they don't feel like they deserved it, they feel like maybe they will. Now, another mentor of mine is Larry Bjornstead, who I really adored everything about her. And she said something about, she said something about the award felt like it's something that you carry around with you all the time, but it's not a burden. She said it was like an anti-gravity device. It doesn't weigh you down, it lifts you up. So keep that in mind. Something else Larry used to say was that we need to honor them while they're living, otherwise they're going to be buried treasures. I think people have been here before, they know I try to work that in every year. Thank you, Larry. That's basically it. I feel the community is built by people who aren't the ones that get up in front of the mic all the time. Well, I'm speaking to myself, I guess. But the ones that show up early and leave late, that are folding up the chairs, that are working the bar, that are doing all the little things, the structure, the little threads that weave this community together. And I feel like this is their time. So next year, as you go about your business, you'll recognize some of those people, and I highly urge you to take a moment, fill out a ballot. Even if they don't get selected, keep at it. That's all I have to say.
Brett is actually an integral part of the committee here, and we'll see him up here again this afternoon. I especially want to recognize photographer Steve Adams, who documents by digital camera this whole reception. And one can go to ourcult.org or find it on the internet and watch the video. It's a very high quality. And even if you live in Kansas, you can watch the video, the whole story. It's a high quality sound and video. In the first years, treasurers had to agree to do a project for their treasurer's year. Recently, treasurers are doing lots of projects already, and their job is to just be themselves and continue their projects. We may ask them to say a few words at a Rotary meeting. The criteria for being a treasurer is to be a leader in one's field, a role model. We're looking for people who donate their time and talent to community service-oriented projects. If one makes a huge contribution to the community, even though it was actually part of their job, that's another way to become a treasurer. Thomas Edison would have been a living treasurer. We feel that Treasures is a community service, and it motivates people to have an interest in community service. Not sure the mic works. Can you hear okay? Yeah. Okay, good. You have to speak into it. Right. I see. Thank you. So treasures are featured at the end of the calendar year in the Ojai Valley News. Treasures are invited to ride the Independence Day Parade and lead the balloon march and music in the park during the summer. We've created a lapel pin called Treasures, and incoming treasures get a lapel pin and a certificate. If there are any treasures that don't have a lapel pin, let me know and we'll get you one. Now, the treasures who were named last year will come up and say a few words about their passion and contribution, and thank them. We thank them for coming. Now, Patty Bagley.
I'll stumble over.
Yeah, good.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Dr. Favre asked me if I would say a few words about what it meant being a living treasure this past year. And I just have to start by saying I was so honored and humbled. It was a big surprise, and what a wonderful, wonderful thing. I do a lot of volunteer work with various organizations. I'm on the board of 8 nonprofits. But it's all good. It's all good. So I wanted to tell you about a couple of my favorite ones. I'm on the board of the Ojai Valley Women's Club, and a lot of you here are familiar with that club. And we raised all that money, and thanks a lot to some of you who helped to raise money for the new roof. And we give scholarships and do a lot of the same things that you all do, and it's just such an honor. I think one of the reasons that I was chosen was because of Steve Adams and Perry Van Houten. I send things, Stephen takes pictures at all my various organizations, and then I send them to Perry, and very often they get into the newspaper. So I figure that's how anybody knew who I was, because of those two guys. So they're wonderful, wonderful. One of my other favorite adventures that I do is working with veterans. I know most of you know that Nancy Hill passed away, and I was Nancy's kind of assistant to help her with a lot of the work that she does for Memorial Day and Veterans Day. As a matter of fact, this Memorial Day, the show is going to be dedicated in Nancy's honor. And I have a love of veterans. My late husband is buried at Arlington Cemetery. My late son was military. My father, grandfather. I work a lot with the Daughters of the American Revolution, and we are no longer flag-waving right-wingers. We're just a bunch of wonderful people doing things for veterans. We go for the troops, and one of my big things that I love is Wreaths Across America. Every December, we have a ceremony at Nordhoff Cemetery, and thanks to Connie Biggers and her efforts cleaning up the cemetery. As a matter of fact, this coming Saturday, she's organizing a group to help clean the graves and things. But we place a wreath at the grave of every single veteran in Nordhoff Cemetery. And there's a wonderful ceremony. This year it's going to be December 14th. I'm getting a plug in. But all of the organizations that I work for are part of this wonderful little community that we're involved in. And like they were saying before, you feel home when you come to Ojai. And I'm going to end with a really fun thing that happened, I'm sure, as a result of being a treasure. Come to the 4th of July parade this year. I'm the Grand Marshal. Thank you all so much.
We have a lot of dedication and talent. Next is Kathy Doubleday.
Right. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, I was extremely honored to be chosen a living treasure. I had the opportunity to be on the committee for quite some time, around 15 years, reading all of the bios on all of the people in this community. And this is a community of givers and, people who just care about people, and I feel honored to be included in that group. So the 4th of July parade, I just want to always give a plug for this. It is so much fun. If you have never ridden down the parade route, you really have to find a way to do it, because it is amazing. You see everybody you've known in town, and they're waving and yelling your name and stuff. It's really, really wonderful. So please do that if you can. I wanted to dedicate my year to something that I have a lot of passion about. I even get emotional about. It's the Parkinson's patients that I work with at Balance Health Center. I'm a physical therapist. And we all know that we should be exercising, and the research all says we need to try to get more intensity in our workouts and everything. But my Parkinson's patients do this on a daily basis to just maintain their status and to live their lives, their really productive lives that they have always lived and want to continue doing. And I'm just so grateful that they show up and they work so hard. And I just wanted to spread the word that if you have Parkinson's, if you know somebody, let them know that exercise can make a big difference in their life, can make a big difference in their symptoms, can help them continue to live the life that they've wanted to, and to interact with their family and be productive. And so I just wanted to promote that and let people know that, because everyone doesn't know that yet. And we just in the last 20 years really noticed that this is the important thing. We used to treat them with kid gloves and be very kind and don't use up their dopamine. Well, that's not what we do anymore. We've sponsored an improv group. One of our clients has started an improv group for Parkinson's patients. We have boxing, and we do really active exercise classes. It's probably the most physical exercise class I have is my Parkinson's class. So just to let you know that. So I think that's about it. I just wanted to say thank you again for the honor and the fun of riding down that parade route. Thank you.
I do the exercise regimen she gave me 10 minutes every morning. She's a good therapist. Glenda King.
Can you hear me? Because I'm never sure about microphones. As I thank the Rotary Club for selecting me for this honor, I have to confess that I really came rather late to volunteering. But there are two chapters of my life that changed that. The first being my mother had Alzheimer's, and that put me into a world with so many challenges and showed me how important people outside the family can become. And secondly, my 9 years working as transportation coordinator at Help of Ojai opened my eyes to the wonderful hearts of those who volunteer. I was able to watch and learn from so many and to begin to understand what an impact those special people had on others. I found that working with seniors, despite also being one, is my comfort zone. In addition to witnessing what giving to others looks like, I also paid attention to what receiving looks like. And thinking that I might someday need volunteers in my life, I watched and took mental notes of the attitudes and grace of the recipients, and I have in my mind who I want to emulate when I grow up. Currently, my favorite volunteer activity is the art enrichment class at our continuing care center. I'm definitely a craft geek, and I love messing around with paper, glue, glitter, ribbon, paint, and whatever else can come together to create something fun. The residents and volunteers all have a great time creating and socializing, and it is a win-win for everyone. A few years after retiring from HELP, I returned as a volunteer, and I want to share that there are many ways to be of service to our community through Help of Ojai programs. You guys gave me the mic, and so I'm going to talk about it. I admit to being partial to transportation, the transportation program, for obvious reasons, and I would like to encourage anyone who loves to drive and wants to help others to remain independent as long as possible to please consider volunteering as a HELP driver. Additionally, HELP has recently partnered with the Continuing Care Center to provide transportation for their residents to medical appointments in Ventura. So drivers are also needed for this program. Participating in these transportation programs, you will meet many interesting people whose lives you can in fact impact profoundly. Thank you again for selecting me with the honor of being a Rotary Club Living Treasure.
Thank you. Yes, transportation is a big deal. Oops. Celeste Matesevac.
As I pinned my Rotary pin on this morning, I reflected on what it's been like for the past year. It's gone by very fast. And I can't thank the Rotary enough and all of the people that nominated me. And if you've ever seen the nomination form, it's not just a couple of lines, it's pages. And so I'm very grateful to everyone, and I've continued, as I said when I got the award, well, it's just what I do. And I think all of us that I'm listening to, that's what we're saying. That's what we do. That's our passion. That's our life right now. And I've continued doing the same, but I've kind of bumped up here and there, you know. And my blood is still at the National Disaster Search Dog Foundation. And so I still volunteer for them and go out to Santa Paula every now and then. And I've been working with the Enrichment Center just a couple of blocks over because my sister goes there. And we've been talking about how to get some more activities for the clients in the community. So we're working on that. And a few other things I don't remember. But then my newest is, as of last night, everybody put a plug in for something. So my plug is, as of last night, I joined, as a volunteer, the fundraising committee for the new Miners Oaks Botanical Park. Oh, so you know about it. And yesterday at noon-ish hour, the County of Ventura gave our nonprofit park $500,000, and they're still going to keep. We have to raise quite a bit of money, but we're looking for fundraising in kind and things like this. Is going to be a one-of-a-kind park. This is not just to bring your children. It's for you to come with your children. Or Brett asked about dogs, of course. And it's really going to change, obviously, the entrance to Miners Oaks. It's where the old car wash was, if anyone knows, just as you turn that, right next to Roth Apartments. And it's going to have we're hoping that the studio artists get involved, the it's going to have interactive learning type things all throughout. So be on the lookout. The county has, they're so interested. We have someone on the committee who's a media person, and she said, this is a national story. And I thought, what? Our little Miners Oaks. But it'll take a couple of years. But you can go on the website and look at how it's been designed. The designers, all volunteers, have looked all over the world for parks. Europe has very interesting parks, so it's going to have some of those things with it. So enough on my new job. Thank you, everyone. And Dr. Favre, I've worked with him for years at the hospital. So thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you. We encourage nominations, and by the way, we've just about gone, almost all the nominations are online now. It's way more efficient. And it's just, we still take paper, but if you can nominate online, it's just, that's the way to go. They're almost all online now anyway. Thank you, Celeste. Sandy Buetchley couldn't make it today. She's had several community service activities and been the Finance and Audit Committee chair for Music Festival. Next is Allie Mills. Oh, good.
Hello, friends. I am just up here in gratitude. Thank you so much. When I was presented with the living treasure, I'm just really awkward, and I don't really expect things like this to happen to me, and I'm very grateful. Thank you. And I'm also very grateful that we didn't have to do another project on top of what I already do, because my life is so scheduled out. And like right now, I work for the Ojai Valley Family Shelter. I'm the director. I also work for Ojai Valley News, so I go from one to the other, and it's pretty much everything in my life is a project. So, right now we're doing the showers. If you know anybody that needs a shower, send them on over. Wednesday and Saturday mornings, 9 to 10 a.m., St. Andrew's Church right here. Just trying to provide a service for everybody. And the other part, we got through a shelter season, 4 months, December through March at the Grange. That's my life. So grateful. I don't know if I have anything else to say. I'm just so grateful. Thank you so much.
Allie actually knows what it's like to be homeless, but she's got that problem solved now. Now, the new treasures will be introduced by their mentors, who will say a few words about them, and they will receive their certificates and lapel pins and come back next year and tell us about their treasures year, but they won't say anything this year. What I'm going to do is call their mentors, and their mentors will call the treasure and they get a lapel pin and a certificate, and we'll go on from there. Not yet. Mike Caldwell is the first mentor I have on this stack.
On the agenda this morning, I was fourth up. I'm like, okay. Yeah, very good. No, the living treasure that I'm introducing is on vacation up in Nova Scotia with his wife, and so he's not here, so I'm going to keep this pretty brief. I cannot imagine. I was in Nova Scotia in May once, and I took my ski parka with me, and I never took it off outside. So you might think that you're not going to Nova Scotia because I live in Ojai, and who needs nice weather? But Walt Hammond is is the living treasure. I not only am his mentor, I'm also one of the people that nominated him, along with his wife that wrote a extremely lengthy nomination, but I'm going to read bits and pieces of what I wrote. I have known Walt for about 5 years, and Walt grew up partially in South America, was born in Venezuela, lived a long time in Lima, Peru, and when he was a teenager, they moved to California. And he speaks Spanish fluently. His father was a geologist. Walt became a geologist. He had his own environmental company that he just retired from a few years ago. But all that is not why Walt is being nominated as a living treasure. Walt has, he is right now, not right now, obviously, but he tutors high school kids that have gotten way behind in their math and science. And so this is on Thursdays and Fridays, he goes over there. He is also on the floating classroom thing where we take mostly elementary school, the Rotary Club takes elementary school kids out on the Lake Casitas. And so, and it isn't all kids, sometimes we take out adult groups too. So you can always, if your groups, you can get involved in that, but Walt's one of the volunteers working on that. He has helped put up the Christmas lights in downtown Ventura for the last, or downtown Ventura, downtown Ojai for the last 3 or 4 years. He and his wife Julie, who is also a living treasure from past years, sing in the community choir. They have both volunteered to the musicals at Nordhoff. They have done that for the last 9 years, where she has choreographed. He has helped build sets, design sets, and has been the house manager. Their son was part of that program, was how they got roped into that, but they're still doing it, despite the fact the son is long out of high school. And he's volunteered to work the wine festival before he was involved in Rotary. And let's see, what else am I forgetting? Setting up the Ojai Band in Libby Park, planting trees. So there's just, Walt goes on and on about he doesn't know how to say no when somebody asks him to help. So with that, hopefully you'll get to meet Walt soon. Do I hold on to this? I'll see him in a couple of weeks. Yeah. Very good.
And a very nice certificate.
Yes. And certificate. Very good.
The next mentor is Al West.
Thank you, Fred. Norma, come and stand up here. It's a distinct, my pumpkin. It's a distinct pleasure for me to have the honor to introduce one of this year's treasures, Norma Acampa. Not only is she a living treasure to all of Ojai and beyond, but she personally gets me ready to work every morning. Norma was born in a family of 8 siblings in Cuernavaca, Morelos, Mexico, and after birth of her daughter, Jenny, she said she wanted to immigrate to the United States. First to Santa Barbara, then to Santa Fe, Mexico. She worked as a caregiver for many people, and in 2005 she moved to Carpinteria, and as a caregiver, and she helped a lady in Montecito until she passed away. Then at the request of Ian McLean, that many of the Rotarians and people of Ojai know, she was asked if she could take care of him, living on the property, providing all his needs, including cooking, entertaining his friends, and providing all those needs, including driving to meetings, etc. But that was not all. At the same time, she provided help to others, including driving seniors to appointments, babysitting, cooking for churches and schools when they had a special event, pet sitting, etc. And when she moved, let's see where I am here. Norma has a saying, I cannot say no, and that is true. She also teaches Spanish. We have a little girl here somewhere. Where is Maxine? There she is. She takes care of Maxine for her schooling needs and other things. This is why she was nominated as a living treasure by over 20 people she got applications from. When Norma helps somebody, you get the whole thing. That wonderful smile, full of laughter and genuine love for everything she does. She has been described as Ojai's Florence Nightingale. Congratulations, Norma. Here is your and pin, okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, your walker.
My walker, yeah. Now forget. See how she takes care of me.
She would qualify as the caregiver extraordinaire. Okay, next, Brett Bradigan will say a few words.
Brett Bradigan.
Is it my turn?
No, it's Brett's gonna
Oh, Brett.
Oh, yeah, no,
I'm sorry.
you're involved.
I'm gonna sit here.
Okay. Who here has felt they've already had enough words from me? Well, I'm actually here to talk about Nora Davis. She can't be here today, but many of you... Oh, Nora! Sorry, I should have introduced myself before you came. Oh. Nora. I know there are 20 nominations for Norma, but Nora was right behind, might even be tied. I don't think we've seen as many nominations ever, just between the two of them. It's really extraordinary. I've known Nora since I moved here 24 years ago. We're business associates, and she's always been a square dealing and fair dealing, and I really appreciate that. But she got nominated for all the little things that people that add up to a lot. That, you know, she takes the high school rodeo program, which I really hope you get that going, because what a treat. When I was in Kernville, the high school rodeo was a big deal. And the rivalry they had with Bishop High School, these kids, they just don't get that sort of camaraderie and that unity with their animals that they do anywhere else. But Nora was born and raised in Casita Springs, right down the road. Isn't that amazing? And besides the high school rodeo project, which I'd really like to get some people here to maybe help her out with that, however we can. She's got the 4-H students she helps, the Future Farmers of America, the Ventura County Fair projects, pretty much anything that has to do with children and animals. And you could say Nora's a little bit rock and roll, but she's a lot of country. And we really appreciate that. So again, I'm going to have to count up the nominations because I think she might be very well tied with Norma. So Nora, thank you for all that you do, and this is the least that we can do to recognize it, and hopefully it will put a little spring in your step. Thanks, Nora. Take a bow.
Thank you so much. You want a picture of me? Oh, wait a minute. We're ready. Thank you.
Am I on?
Yes, we will get to know Brett today. Carl Gross is his mentor. Dr. Carl Gross.
Thank you, Fred. All right, let me get my paper out here. Well, what do you say about Brett Bradigan? My gosh, what an assignment. Well, thanks, Fred. It's my distinct pleasure to tell you a little bit about our inductee, Brett Bradigan. Brett is the current owner and editor of the Ojai Quarterly, the Ojai Monthly, the Ojai Visitor's Guide, the Ojai Health and Witness Guide. Is there an Ojai Hourly? No. Oh, okay. I just didn't want to miss anything here. And co-publisher of the weekly Ojai Vortex newsletter. Other than that, he doesn't have a thing to do, you know. He has a podcast, which I would urge all of you to listen to. It features Ojai residents and their fascinating backstories, and he's got a tremendous collection there on his site. He's had extensive experience in the publishing arena. He started with Kern Valley Sun as a reporter, then editor and publisher for 10 years. He's had similar assignments with multiple newspapers. With the Ojai Valley News, he won multiple awards and recognition for his features, columns, investigative journalism, and sports coverage. Brett, first and foremost, has covered every aspect of Ojai culture and its connection to the world. Everything from the Ojai history of AARP to articles on Ojai notables. He is Ojai's ex officio historian philosopher. Brett loves outdoor activities, including hiking and fishing. He's the father of Andrew and Elizabeth. Before his journalism career, he was a 6-year veteran of the Air Force. He's past president of Rotary Club of Ojai and the Ojai Valley Chamber of Commerce. He has served the Ojai Valley Museum, Ojai Land Conservancy, and the Ojai Rotary Educational Foundation. Brett has, as my wife would put it, a trash brain. You know, picks up all these little bits and pieces of information and then stores them away. He gives brief glimpses of historical figures and events at our Rotary meetings. He was on Jeopardy, in fact, and he competes in local trivia contests. Boy, don't go up against him, I tell you, he's formidable. And one of his assets is he knows just about everybody in Ojai. It's amazing. I had the pleasure of working with him in a stand-up comedy class this past year, and I got to say he approached his tasks with energy and focus, and he also had a wicked sense of humor. Brett, congratulations on your recognition as a living treasure.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
One of the stories about Brett is that he's an athlete, and somehow he was playing, getting rewarded for being a baseball player, and somehow he saw an ad where he could become a newspaper writer, and he did that and never came back. Next, I'm going to have Kathy Doubleday introduce her treasurer.
Well, I have the honor of introducing Whitney Nunez. I have heard about Whitney from her father, John Jenks, who I've known for several years, and he's always beaming with pride about her. And then I got to read about Whitney. Okay. Whitney, come on up here. I didn't want her to see all my notes. All right, so then I got to read about her and find out all the amazing things. She was nominated by 6 powerhouse nominators who are community members who really know volunteerism, and some are living treasures. Here's just a few excerpts from some of the things that they said in their nominations. Whitney has served as a case manager for the Help of Ojai in the Community Assistance Program for 10 years. Her expertise and her thoughtful, caring personality has been instrumental in helping numerous seniors and families find housing. While much of her involvement comes as part of her day-to-day work for Help of Ojai, she has given freely of her spare time on many occasions to help the less fortunate. Examples of this include helping to physically move clients on weekends with her 2 young children, Delaney and Wade, who are here today. She's also organized a Christmas breakfast for the unhoused. Whitney is a natural at this work and has always carried herself with optimism, good cheer, understanding, and a can-do attitude. She impacts her clients' lives positively and makes each person feel valued. She is a hometown girl and an incredibly honest and real understanding of the struggles many people in Ojai live through and the personal motivation to make their lives better. Just like her parents and her family, we are proud of the person she is and so glad she is a force for good in the Ojai community. Congratulations.
As I said before, we have a lot of talent. Now, the next mentor is Connie Biggers. And Judy Oberlander is her.
And Judy, please come on down. Well, this has been a pleasure to be able to meet Judy. I was unable to talk with her as far as personally until today. And we did do some exchanging of emails. And like the other living treasures of 2024, Judy definitely is an overachiever. First of all, it is an honor and a privilege to announce this year's Ojai living treasure, Judy Oberlander. Oberlander. I knew I would screw up someplace. And I tell you what, it's better to be at the beginning instead of the end. Okay. And Judy was born in Illinois, a Midwesterner that came to California at the age of 18 to attend college. And my question would be, this was the time when California was alive and well at college. And so anyway, she has earned an MA, a BA, and an MA in English, and has done graduate work with creative writing. And this seems to be your love. You got married. You did eventually make it to Ojai in 1971. And it's here that you got involved in a mega group of activities. First of all, you got involved with the community when teaching childbirth education at the Ojai Hospital. Then it was working and organizing poetry reading as far as the Ojai Library was concerned. Seemed like that was really not enough. I know that she has been involved with the music festival. No?
Yeah, well, used to
That's what I think. Okay, and we are looking at the Red Cross. We're looking at the Surf Riders. It's really a conundrum of organizations. And with pride, you had taught at Ventura College and the University of California at Santa Barbara. And I think part of your pride and joy as far as ending the work part was teaching at the Ojai Valley School, teaching English. This is her love, creative and poetry is her love. We were looking at you also being a counselor at Ojai Valley School. And in her next life, I think she's going to return to Ojai Valley School, right? What we are looking at, you've left your footprints around the valley, and you've put your boots on the ground. You've shared your time and talents with many different organizations, and also by not only serving on committees and as a gopher, but also on their boards. And I had given her an assignment, and she probably is saying, well, why did she do this? Well, if people know me, they know I'm very unorganized. So her assignment is for next year to have a 2 or 3 minute speech to tell about the things that you are really doing. Okay? It's evident from the information that we received, and it is a pleasure to say, congratulations, you are definitely a 2024 Ojai Valley Living Treasure. And we have do this one off.
Judy, smile one more time, please.
Thank you, good job.
Hold it up for a second. Gotta give John something.
I have to say, we have a lot of talent. Well, this is sort of the end of the reception. Thank you for all your community service, everyone. It's a small town where everybody knows everybody, and when a lot of people get involved, more good things happen. The meeting is now adjourning. Please stay and enjoy some refreshments and conversation with your neighbors and treasures.